the event, the rally kicked off with an open party for competitors and fans on the Thursday evening before the event. Christened the Sasol Performance Playground, the carnival included car displays, a Sony PlayStation tent, the Sasol Jordan Formula 1 show car, and for many the highlight of the evening, the ballad band Koleski. The local school choir greeted teams and fans alike at the starting ramp in Sabi on Friday for what was the 12th running of the event with Sasol sponsorship. The melodic tunes proved contagious among the large crowd that turned up for the start. A huge entry of 69 cars started the two-day 208-kilometre event, promising a close competition from the word go. Drivers and fans mingled as technicians completed their final preparations. Last year's winner, Enzo Kuhn and Guy Hodgson, were first on the road in their Class A8 Sasol dual-fuel Volkswagen Golf.
You know, it's been the best yet a bit between the teeth now, and they've built a fantastic car. So it's been dominant this year, 2 wins in a second. And Volkswagen's on the back foot. They have to respond now. And it's going to be interesting to see what Volkswagen management decide to do about it. You know, there's also some talk of new regulations for next year, so are they going to build this car into a winner, or are they going to wait for a new car? So it's a very interesting situation.
Well, I think that's the other dilemma. Toyota have brought their new car, and this question of the FS 2000 rules, and a lot of discussion going on Sunday morning. We will be having a short meeting. I am somewhat disturbed by the FIA's trying to find the parity between the N4 cars and a new four-wheel drive formula. But these cars are intended for tarmac. In Europe, you know, they don't have very many gravel roads, and so we have to be very careful, and I will certainly try and avoid us going down a road that doesn't have a future.
We expected one of the four-wheel drives to...
Really, I think those cars are all capable of winning, so it's a disappointment, really. I thought it would be a lot more dicing between the N4s and the A8s, but it doesn't happen. Of course, it's a fantastic year as well for Etienne Lawrence. I mean, he's been there from day one in Natal, very competitive, found a bit more horsepower, and I think the A7s, the Toyotas have got it over the Volkswagens as well this year. So some thinking back at Volkswagen.
8 points behind leader Serge Damso, a good result on this event was crucial for Kuhn's slender title hopes. With 5 rounds of the championship still to run, the lanky Cape Tonian was ever optimistic going into the event, but he knew that he had to win to retain any chance of being in the title race. Kuhn's predicament was the result of 2 retirements due to mechanical failures, sandwiching a second place in the opening 3 events. With nothing to lose, he came flying out of the starting blocks, winning the first stage by 4 seconds. Reigning champions Yanni Habich and Douglas Judd in the second Sasol dual-fuel Volkswagen Golf started the rally holding second place in the championship. They won the opening round of the series, then followed that up with a non-finish and a second place in the next 2 to trail Damso by 34 points. He opened his account with a brief spin in stage 1, finishing some 7 seconds off Kuhn's pace. Damso and Robert Paisley have enjoyed a great rally season thus far. They debuted the new Class A8 Castrol Corolla Run-X in the opening round of the series and, despite some severe handling problems, managed to bring it home second overall. After some rapid development work, the handling was much improved by the second round, resulting in a convincing win. Another victory followed in the next round, the Toyota Dealers Cape Rally on Damso's home turf. The Toyota duo's success and the inconsistency of their rivals saw them start the Sasol with a healthy cushion in the championship. It also meant that they would be able to choose from a variety of strategies, with a win not an essential requirement. In car with Serge to the end of the stage, it's interesting to note the rough conditions and all the hand signals from Paisley.
Fast right down there. Fast. Fast. Right. 600 to flying finish, and then 100 after flying finish, double portion jump. 300 flying finish, 200 flying finish, 100 double portion jump. 100 flying finish. Here comes False flying finish and then double caution, yeah. Yo. What a rough start. Stop control. There's your 11:21.
Sporting a new colour scheme, there were high expectations for the L&J Plant Hire Subaru Impreza of Jamie Gemmell and Greg Godrich. Gemmell has proven that he can win a straight fight with the Class A8 cars, and he was certainly going to gun for victory here after failing to finish the previous two events. The reigning African Rally champion was sidelined with reliability problems, but a clean run would make him the thorn in the side of the works teams. Fernando Rueda, with Pete Swanepoel navigating on this event, has also flattered to deceive in his Class N4 motion vehicle wholesalers Mitsubishi this year. He was considered a serious championship contender before the season's start, but he's now down to 6th in class after a series of retirements. Etienne Lawrence and Andre Vermeulen have been the stars of the season so far in their team total Toyota Corolla. Driving in Class A7, the pair have taken the fight to the more powerful Class A8 cars in every round, often leading outright. Since crashing out of the Tour Rally season opener, the team total pair have been on the podium in every event, earning them a substantial 33-point class lead and a 4th place in the overall championship. By comparison, their chief class rivals Jürgen Fecken and Dave Levkovitz have suffered a torrid start to the year. Numerous mechanical problems have stunted their progress in the Sasol dual-fuel Volkswagen player. The team is, however, confident that all the gremlins have been cured, and Fecken was looking forward to proving that he can still challenge Lawrence in a straight fight. Sasol Polo player teammates Chart van der Walt and Mike Burrows were wondering just what they had done to deserve the disastrous season they've had to endure so far. Having retired within the first few stages on all 3 previous events, they were simply hoping to make it to the overnight stop. It was not to be, however. They would retire on the next stage with a blown engine. Berger and Vito Bonafide have enjoyed a good start to the season in their Bridgestone Subaru South African Impreza. They scored well in 2 of the opening 3 rounds for 5th overall and 2nd in class in the championship. The team had fitted a new engine to their Subaru for the Sasol and were confident of taking the fight to Gemmell and Rueda. JP Damso and Cobus Frey were also looking to finish the event after a poor start to the year. A mechanical failure and an accident in the opening 2 rounds left them out of contention, but they reversed their fortunes with a strong finish on the Cape Rally. They challenged Lawrence hard on the 2nd day in the Cape and were hoping to do the same this time round, but a spin and a stall in the first stage did not help their cause. Reigning Group N champions Leon Buerta and Richard Clark inflicted some early damage to their Rally Star Pretoria Subaru Impreza, costing them valuable time. They won their class last time out in the Cape, but a non-finish earlier in the year saw them languishing in 3rd in the class points. With the competition getting stronger at each event, Buerta will have a battle on his hands to retain his title. Nicholas Ryan and Brian Carriel have been the surprise of the season in their ABC Motors Subaru Impreza. They led Class N4 and were 3rd in the overall championship, but they were in for a tough time. Visser du Plessis and Thilo van Westenhagen started on a bad note when the odometer on their Lipton Ice Tea Subaru Impreza failed. They would press on regardless. Making their debut behind the wheel of a Subaru were veterans Kali van der Merwe and Gideon Trollip. Meanwhile, Jacques Buerta and Henry Deerlam had traded in their Impreza sedan for a Spa Highway Farms Impreza sport wagon. And making a rare appearance, Jaco Venter and JB van Nieuwenhuizen were taking on the Class A6 regulars in their Venter Motors Toyota Corolla. Class A6 class leaders Craig Trott and Gerard Sneeman were hopeful of another rich points haul in the team total Toyota Corolla to consolidate their points lead. It was a bad start for Class N2 points leaders Chris de Wit and Janine Labuskachny in their CTH Transport Toyota Corolla. A lone rock at the end of stage 1 ripped the wheel right off. Hasty repairs would be necessary, but they would roll out on stage 4. Keane and Hodgson were taking no prisoners on the early, very rough stages. They narrowly won the second stage from Gemmel, extending their small lead. Let's go on board with Habich and Judge.
Step up, do not cut. Turn off hairpin left, do not cut.
The Volkswagen pair were 4 seconds slower than the sister car through the stage, with Habich not entirely happy with the Golf's handling. Now we travel with Damso as his rally is about to end with a dropped valve. Note how he has to dip the clutch to get the car up the hill. After 3 strong finishes, Damso's luck had run out. He would retire at the end of the stage with terminal engine damage. Fortunately for him, he knew that his championship lead would still be intact, regardless of who won the event. We drive with Serge out of the stage and into retirement. Note the huge number of spectators.
100 flying finish.
Into stage 3, and this time Kuhn didn't post the fastest time as teammate Habich fought back. On board with Habich, listen to Judd's clear instructions.
100 sharp, 90 left, sharp, 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 and then 90 left again.
Gemmel was about to exit his 3rd rally in succession. The blue smoke pouring out of the rear is the result of a loose pipe leaking power steering fluid onto the hot exhaust. It would lead to a broken steering rack. Rueda lost chunks of time with 2 spins, but was keeping Berger in sight in the race for class honours. Meanwhile, Lawrence was taking it cautiously in the rough opening stages, resisting the temptation to challenge the Class A8 cars. He was unwilling to chance his luck by going for overall stage wins, but maintained his class lead over his rivals. Second was relishing a polo in fine Vettel and continued to push Lawrence hard. With Gemmel out of the event, Berger opened up a healthy class lead in the early stages. He was determined to reverse the class defeat he suffered to Buerta in the last event and had been pushing hard from the beginning. After a poor start to the year, Damso Jr. had been under pressure to score a good finish, a feat he achieved in the Cape Rally. Determined to finish the Sasol 2, he treated the rough stages with caution, but nevertheless set competitive stage times. Buerta was still throwing his Subaru around energetically, but finished the stage 10 seconds slower than rival Berger. He would later get stuck on a rock and lose 10 minutes, after which he disappointingly threw in the towel and retired. Du Plessis has been driving with a lot more maturity in the past few events after a big accident in his first appearance in the Subaru. Despite the lack of an Odo, he continued to make good progress, setting good stage times. Renowned for his sideways style when he rallied a Nissan Skyline, Van der Merwe was familiarizing himself with the Subaru, and some of the old flair was beginning to show. Buerta Jr.'s sport wagon was built in only 4 days in the week prior to the event and arrived without having been tested. Still, it was running reliably in the early stages, and he was pushing hard despite his unfamiliarity with the car. Venter was putting in an impressive performance for someone who contests just this event every year. He was the fastest Class A6 runner in this stage. Jose Ferreira and Miguel da Costa in the cannon-backed Subaru Impreza were having a consistent run, not far off the pace of the class leaders. Navigator da Costa is just 16 years old. The event was notable for the large Class S20 entry. José de Gouveia and Tommy de Toy were in amongst the regular national runners in their friendly grosser Toyota Conquest. After narrowly losing the Class A6 title to Damso Jr. last year, Trotters had the class pretty much to himself this year, but was now facing a serious threat from Venter. He lost 5 seconds on this stage.